Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cassidy, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. So on my channel, I just post a little bit of like vlog style videos, informational videos about my pets. So if you think that's something that you might be interested in, I would greatly appreciate it if you did subscribe. It means the world to me. So for today's video, I thought it could be kind of fun for us to go and tour all of my animals' current enclosures. Now, why I stress current so much is because all of my animals are juveniles. So these are their baby enclosures. These are not final enclosures. These are far too small, I just don't like them very much. So I thought that this could be kind of a cool video because I am actually planning to completely redo all of my animals' enclosures, hopefully here in the next couple of months. So I thought that this could be kind of cool so we could look back and see where they were and how far we go with our new enclosures. So now I'm sorry if any of my enclosures are messy, if they look undone. It's been a stressful week. Now, I just want to stress this again that these are not their final enclosures. These are their juvenile enclosures. Please do not take this as the final product. Please do not take this as a like guide on how to set up a tank for this animal. I just want to come on here and show my enclosures now so that we can just get the gist of where they're at. So I'm gonna stop yapping about these future enclosures and everything like that because you didn't come to this video to watch me talk, you came to look at the enclosures. So without further ado, I will be getting into the enclosures. Okay, so for our first enclosure, we're starting off with my bearded dragon enclosure. So this is Wasabi's enclosure. Now this is a 40-gallon breeder. I'll put the dimensions of that up on the screen now, but this is just his temporary tank while I make sure that he's doing good. For substrate, I have him on paper towels. I do this so that I can monitor his bathroom habits, and it's just a good way to keep things very sanitary. In this enclosure, I kept it very simple. It really only has a couple pieces of Mopani wood, some fake foliage, and his food bowl where I put like his salad and his bugs, and then over in this corner there is a water bowl for him. And if you look up here at the top, we do have some basking light for him. This is where he'll get his keep from. And then we also have some linear UVB. Bearded dragons do need UVB or else they can develop metabolic bone disease, and that is not something that you want your bearded dragon to get. So this is his enclosure. Okay, so now moving on to our second enclosure. This is my ball python Mochi's enclosure. You can actually see her coming out and hanging out on her cork bark right now. So she's just out and about today, but this is her enclosure. This is a 4x2x2 bioactive enclosure by Dubia Roaches. I really do like this enclosure. This is not sponsored by Dubia Roaches, but I really do like their enclosures. I think that they make really good, high quality enclosures. Now, Wasabi's enclosure is actually stacked on top of Mochi's enclosure because it has this thick screen. It's not like the mesh, it's like metal screen. So it's able to hold up Wasabi's enclosure on top of it. So this is the enclosure that Wasabi is hopefully going to be getting as well. I'm going to get him his own Dubia Roach 4x2x2, and you can actually stack Dubia Roach enclosures. So Wasabi is going to go on the bottom and Mochi's enclosure is going to go on the top. So that is their future plans for his enclosure. I think that it's an okay enclosure. 4x2x2 is the recommended size for a ball python, so the size is not really something that I'm concerned about. However, I am wanting to redo this sometime in the near future. I think that I could add more enrichment, and I think I could add more plants to make it a little bit more naturalistic for Mochi. But she seems to really enjoy it. I think that ball pythons should be in a 4x2x2. As you can kind of see here, she utilizes every inch of space that she gets. For the substrate, it is a mix of topsoil, sand, and then some coconut coir. So that is the mixture that we've kind of got in there. I think I also did throw in a little bit of aspen bedding just so that if she wanted to burrow, she could. Ball pythons typically do not burrow, but I wanted to give her the opportunity if she so decides. Plant-wise in here, we just have some pothos and aloe vera plants. I am not too experienced on bioactive enclosures, so I wanted to go with some plants that seemed relatively easy and hardy, as this is my second bioactive enclosure I have ever done. When I redo it, I do think that I want to add some more plants in here, even maybe siliconing some onto the back of the enclosure so that we can have some nice hanging plants in there. Also, Mochi's being really cute. She's drinking her water. I think that's adorable, but this is her enclosure. She does not have UVB in here, and that is something that I will be changing when I do all the tank upgrades, is that all of my animals will be getting UV. They do not have it right now, and that is definitely something that I am going to be changing here in the near future. Cover these guys together because they basically have the same setup. So these are my two geckos. This is Duck and Frankie's enclosure. Now, since they are quite young and quite small, I do only have them in some plastic tubs right now. The plastic tubs are good for monitoring the humidity and monitoring the health of your geckos, so that's why I put them in these tubs. Keeping young geckos in tubs can also be helpful when feeding them. It's easier for them to find food and also to monitor and make sure that they are eating. Now, each one of these tubs does have quite a bit of enrichment in it. I have quite a few fake plants in here and perches for them to sit on, and Frankie's enclosure has a piece of cork round that he loves to crawl into and hide in. Geckos typically like a lot of coverage as it makes them feel safe in their environment. Right now, as we speak, I am actually working on their upgrades. They are going to be moved into an 18 by 24 by 24 Exoterra enclosure. So I am quite pleased about that. They should be getting done here within the month, and I am making a video documenting the process of building those enclosures. Now, these also do not have any UVB on them, but they will be getting UVB in their future enclosures, much like Mochi. They do not need a heat source because where I live, it does stay warm enough all year round for them to be able to maintain a consistent temperature just sitting in my room like this. The room where these guys are at actually stays at about 70 degrees consistently, and in their tank with the humidity it's just a smidge bit hotter in there as well, but well within the temperature range that is recommended for these geckos. Now for my next enclosure, this is my leopard gecko beetles enclosure. This is a 20-gallon, and I will list the dimensions of that on the screen. But this is also his temporary enclosure, and it is bioactive as well. For plants in this enclosure, we have quite a few pothos that is just absolutely thriving in here. As you can see, it's growing up the back and the wall. It is just doing very well. We also have some sort of, I believe it was called an angel plant, but if not, I will put what it actually is on the screen right now. But that's what we have for plants in this bioactive enclosure. He has 3 hides in here. He has a plastic tub hide over here, a wooden log hide over here, and then this corner basking hide, so that if he does choose that he wants to bask, he has an area to do so. For substrate, he just has a mixture of topsoil and sand. This is good for the plants. I've noticed that they really do thrive with this substrate. It also is covered in leaf litter as well, then that helps maintain the humidity in the enclosure. For the rest of the decorations, he does have a couple pieces of Mopani wood in here just to add a little bit more color, and then a water bowl as well. As far as lighting goes, he has a dual spot lamp here. He has a basking bulb and a coil UVB. So this is also just temporary. He does not have the linear He does not have the linear UVB that I would like to give him just yet, but in his tank upgrade, he will also be getting some linear UVB. For right now, coil will just have to do, but we are working on changing that. Okay, so moving on over, we have my Corn Snake Scarlet's tank. Now this is also a 20 gallon. It's the same size as Beetle's tank. So I will once again drop the dimensions on the screen now. But this is Scarlet's tank. Now, a 20 gallon is too small for an adult corn snake, but for a juvenile snake, I think that this size is a very good size. Now, it is not a bioactive setup. It is just fake foliage with some Mopani wood and some decorative stones and a pumpkin that I actually put in there during like Halloween season and just never took out. So it's become a permanent resident of Scarlet's tank for now, but he also has a water bowl as well as two highs that are in the back. They kind of blend in with the background, but this is Scarlet's tank. Bedding wise, I did use aspen bedding because I wasn't planning on doing bioactive for her juvenile enclosure. The future enclosure will be bioactive, so she will be getting different substrate in that enclosure, but for now I thought aspen bedding would make a perfect option because corn snakes do love to burrow. You can see along the edges here of her tank that she has really been digging around. You can see her tunnels that she's made in this enclosure. So they love to burrow, they love to slither around in their aspen bedding and bury themselves, so that is why I picked aspen bedding for her. Okay, so now for our last enclosure. This enclosure is actually home to a snake that I have not introduced to you guys yet. So this enclosure actually belongs to a family member that I have not introduced to you yet. He is a king snake that I had gotten after I had filmed my Meet All My Pets video, so that's why he was not in that video. But I will be introducing you guys to him and getting him a dedicated video very soon. But this is his enclosure. Now, he is also a baby. He is the same age as Scarlet, so very young and can live in a 20 gallon enclosure. His enclosure right now is a 20 long, so I'll throw the dimensions of that up on the screen right now. And his setup is very similar to Scarlet's. King snakes and corn snakes are both colubrids, so their setups can be very similar. So he as well has aspen. He does have quite a bit more aspen than Scarlet does, but I have noticed that this guy loves to dig. He has 3 hides in here right now, but he does not use them. He would rather bury himself straight to the bottom of the floor. He does not care. He loves being in the aspen. So I gave him, I would say this is probably about a solid 4 or 5 inches worth of aspen on the bottom of his enclosure. And he utilizes every inch of space in this enclosure. Now in here he does have 3 different hides, 1 in each quarter and then 1 in the middle. It's recommended for all enclosures that you keep at least 3 hides in all of their enclosures. In their future enclosures, all of my animals will be getting plenty of hiding opportunities. That is definitely going to be an upgrade. This one is also not bioactive. It is just artificial plants and foliage in here, which is why I chose the aspen once again. But like the rest of them, they will be getting fully bioactive enclosures. Mavis says hello. She is helping me film. So all of them will be getting full bioactive enclosure, so I'm pretty excited about that. But this is just his baby enclosure. He will be going, Sorrel says hi too. Oh my goodness, guys, go. You have anything to add? You have anything to say? Oh, Sorrel. Hi, do you have anything to say? Okay. Now I will be documenting this entire process and posting it on this channel, so if you think that this is something that you would be interested in watching sometime in the future, then I would definitely consider subscribing because I will be posting this entire thing in depth, all the steps, everything that I did, everything that I bought, completely on this channel. So stay tuned for that because it is going to be a super fun video. I think to get this done as soon as possible, but since this is going to be quite an expensive project, it might take a while for me to get all the supplies and save up enough money to get all of these tanks and all of their accessories. So I don't really know when this is gonna take place, but just stay tuned. I will be posting a video hopefully super soon because I have started building the 2 geckos tanks. So I hopefully will be posting a video within the next couple of months of finishing up those tanks. I'm hoping on it being a tutorial video or a step-by-step guide. So if that's something that you guys are interested, please leave comments down below so that I know if you guys want to see it or not. But anyways, guys, that is all I have for you today. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Every comment, every like, every subscriber means the absolute world to me, and I am so grateful for you guys, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!